Hey guys, I'm Cassie with MakingTimeForGiggles.com. I make videos about making mom life simple, and if that sounds like something you would like to see more of, go ahead and hit subscribe down below and ring the little bell next to it so you can be notified when the next one comes out. With all of the coronavirus stuff going on and all of the social distancing involved with that, a lot of people are stuck at home in a way that they have not been probably in their whole lives. And along with all of this comes a lot of questions, such as, what am I supposed to do when I am stuck at home all the time? So many people, especially if they work outside of the home normally, do not know what to do when their kids are out of school, when they don't have work, and when there's really no structure around their day. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to build a schedule that will work in this quarantine time and once you get back to your normal life. If you've had trouble sticking with schedules before, I've got a solution for you, and it is called block scheduling. In traditional scheduling, you take your day and hour by hour put tiny little tasks in there, and when the hour is done, you move on to the next task. This can be overwhelming and stressful and can just make you feel like you're running all the time, and yet you never actually get anything done because an hour isn't quite long enough to accomplish any of those tasks. With block scheduling, you take your day and you divide it up into manageable chunks or blocks. We have been keeping our schedule with a block schedule for years now, and I will never go back to a traditional schedule. Block scheduling keeps things nice and neat, and it takes all of the guesswork out of things when you're needing to make an appointment, for instance. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make your very own block schedule, and I am going to give you a peek at our block schedule, and I'll explain some of the differences with our schedule before quarantine and now that we are actually in a mandatory quarantine and some things have changed around our house. All right, let's dig into creating that schedule. Go ahead and grab some paper like I did here. I just used a paper and a pen and a book to make the line straight. Or if you prefer, I'll put a printable resource down below with a template and some checklists for organizing your time when you are stuck at home. The first step in creating your block schedule is to divide your day into blocks. You can really decide how many blocks work well with your schedule and what rhythm you want to have. If your schedule now is different than it will be after the mandatory quarantine, I suggest making a schedule that will fit with your life then as well as now. Then when everything goes back to normal, you won't have to revamp your schedule and make it work for you in both situations. As you can see in our schedule, I use 5 main blocks for my day plus another night block. I recommend using 4 to 7 blocks for your day. If you get too many more than that, you're basically back to the hour by hour planning and it's not going to work as well. But if you get too few blocks, you will feel like you have so much time in each block that you procrastinate and you still don't get anything done. So the 4 to 7 block range will help you be productive while still maintaining that momentum in your day. The second thing you need to do is to decide how long each block is going to be. For our blocks, they are not all the same size. You can make all of yours the same size if you want to. You can do that really easily with 4 3-hour blocks during your day. But my day just doesn't fit into those exact neat compartments like that. For us, it works a little better to have different sized blocks. It's totally up to you. However you want to do it is just fine. But you need to decide and you need to write that down. For us, our first block of the day is 4 hours long, followed by a 3-hour block, followed by a 2.5-hour block, followed by another 4-hour block, and then a 3-hour block. Like I said, you can completely customize this to whatever fits your needs and lifestyle. Step number 3, name your blocks. You can name them for the types of activities that you are doing during that time, or you can name them for the time of day. All you're doing with this is telling yourself what types of activities go inside this block. For example, my first block of the day is just my morning block. And if you think that's super creative, you should see my evening block. But I do have one block in here that has a different name, and that is our get outside / learning block. This is the block that has had the most changes to it with the quarantine and mandatory isolation going on. So I'll explain that more as I'm going through our blocks in a second. The next thing you need to do in setting up your block is organize which activities go with which blocks. And I just suggest making a list and writing down everything that you think belongs in each section. The length of the list will be determined by the length of the block and the variety of activities that might happen within the block. I don't do every single one of these things each day, but these are the types of things that I would put into this category. For example, in our evening block, I have baths if needed for the girls. We don't do baths every day. They don't get that dirty that a little hand wash and face wash can't fix. So I have it in this block, but that's not something that has to take place in this block. And knowing that will especially come in handy after the quarantines are over and we can get outside and go places again. We're not going to schedule a play date and music lessons and swimming lessons all on the same day, but all of those things might fit in the same block. I hope that makes sense. Leave a comment down below if that doesn't make sense and I will try to explain it better. Now your block should pretty much be set up and look very similar to this. I will go over ours to give you some ideas if you are stuck with what activities go in which block. And I'll also go over some of the differences that are going on now for us with the quarantine and what our blocks normally look like. So like I mentioned, my super creative title for my first block is the morning block. And this block for us is 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Usually actually starts a little earlier than that depending on when I drag myself out of bed, but at least by 6 a.m. I am usually up and getting my morning routine started. During this block, I do my mom's morning routine, and I will leave a link down below if you would like some help creating a morning routine. I feel like having a morning routine made me a better mom, a more relaxed person, and just happier in general because I had a little time to myself every morning to breathe and think before the girls got up and my day got started full force. The other thing that happens for sure in this block every day is Miss Claire has a little morning checklist. And in that checklist are things like make your bed, get dressed, put your pajamas away, little things like that that she can do to get her day started. Basically, it's a good idea for any of your kids that are old enough for a little responsibility to take charge of their own morning routine and getting themselves ready for the day. Plus, it will make life a lot easier when the quarantine is over and they can help get themselves ready for school. In the resource that's down below with the template also has some checklists for making that morning routine for your kids. Something else we always do in this first block is I start a load of laundry. I do one load of laundry every day from start to completely finished, and it is a lifesaver. I'll leave my laundry routine down below too if you want to take a peek at that. It saves a lot of time. We always do breakfast, obviously, during our morning block. We load the dishwasher as soon as we are done with breakfast, and we start with our morning chores and cleaning. I have a simple weekly cleaning routine that we do that doesn't take very long at all and gets all of the cleaning done throughout the week with minimal effort. So I'll leave that link down below too if that sounds like something that would be helpful during this time when you're stuck at home. And then the other thing that we do during this block is we have a little bit of family worship, which is just reading a Bible story, maybe working on a memory verse and singing a song together, something simple. And then our next block, and this is the block that has taken the biggest hit with being stuck at home, is our get outside or our learning block. This used to be my get out of the house block. We would basically do something every day that got us out of the house in some way, preferably outdoors. But we would also do doctor's appointments and dentist appointments and things like that. Music lessons would go in this block for us. But now that looks a little bit different since we can't actually get out and about too much. So we have some new things in this block. One is play in the backyard, practice piano. I have some fun ABC games that I've been doing to teach Miss Claire her alphabet. We basically play volleyball with a balloon, and it's a great way to get some energy out while learning at the same time. Another thing we like to do in this block is to make bread. I love making homemade bread with the girls for so many reasons. I have a whole post all about it that you can check out below if you want. It is so much fun to make bread with your kids. They love measuring, and you're teaching them math when you do that. They love playing with the dough, which is a great sensory activity for them. And of course, they love to eat it when it comes out of the oven, as we all do. I also have another video of fun things to do with your kids when you're stuck at home that I will link below, and basically all of those activities would go into this block, our second block of the day. We also always do lunch in this block. We clean up lunch right away, and then we head upstairs. Our laundry room is actually upstairs near the girls' bedroom, and I always switch laundry from the washer into the dryer before they start their naps. Again, I'll link the laundry routine down below if you'd like to see it in depth. The next block is our nap time or quiet time block, and this is a 2.5 hour block for us because kids only sleep so long. So in this block, we get ready for naps, which includes story time, and we've been trying to do extra story time right now since we aren't getting out of the house. Miss Claire is loving Little House on the Prairie series, so if you have kids in the pre-K to first grade age, that's an awesome series to read with all of this time that we have at home right now. The next thing is naps or quiet time. Miss Paige takes a nap every day. She's only 2, and Miss Claire alternates days. Every other day she does a nap, and every other day she does quiet time. When she does her quiet time, she's required to be in her room doing some sort of quiet activity that won't wake up her sister or disturb me while I'm working for the full time that her sister is sleeping. And that works really well for us. It gives me a break during the day, which I very much need. And it gives her some alone time too, and some creative time to do some things that she may not think to do if I'm constantly entertaining her. The other thing that goes into this block is my work. I get a lot of my work done during this time when I'm not being constantly interrupted. And also I will do phone calls if I need to. That's something, again, I did more before the quarantine, but if I needed to make a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment or something where I needed to pay attention on the phone and didn't want little people interrupting me, then I would make that call during this time. Our next block is our evening block. The first thing we do in the evening block is when the girls wake up, we fold the laundry right away. I will prep dinner in this block. Sometimes the girls help me prep, and sometimes they play outside. My husband and I also like to work out together, and one of the blessings of the social isolation for us is that he used to get home from work quite a bit later, and it was very variable depending on the day. Now he can get off work a little sooner sometimes, and we are able to get the workout done before dinner, which is really nice. We like to do P90X3, which is great. I can leave a link down below if you are looking for a good at-home workout routine with minimal equipment needed. Or we like to use a jogging stroller that converts into a bike trailer, and our girls love riding in it. They will ask us to go on runs with them, and we will just go on a nice run with them as a family, and we get our workouts in, they get some outside time, and it works out really well for everyone. We always eat dinner together in this block. We have, again, some family worship time in the evening. And then we do our baths if needed. Like I said, our kids don't bathe every single day. They just don't get that dirty, especially in the winter and when we aren't going to the park all the time. But about once a week, sometimes more than that if they need it, we will do baths, and that happens in this block as well. And then bedtime. And if we didn't get to the workout before we had to put them to bed, then we will work out right after they go to bed. The last waking block for me is a work block. I will finish cleaning up supper if we didn't get to that before the kids went down, and then I pretty much work solid from there until bedtime, which I have on here is 10:30. Sometimes it ends up being a little later depending on what I'm working on. And again, this one before the quarantine, this is when we would often do our workout just because you would get home a lot later and we didn't have time. And then the last thing is sleep. Make sure you block out your sleep time and make sure you're getting a decent amount of sleep. Even if you are working from home right now or not going into work as much, it's still good to stay refreshed and on a good schedule so when you go back to work, everything is all back to normal. So that is the beauty of the block schedule. Things can be moved around, things can be changed, but the girls and I still have a consistent rhythm in our day, and it helps us move through the day without just completely wasting it, which can be really easy to do when you're stuck at home all the time. Let me know in the comments if you are gonna try the block schedule, how it works for you, if it didn't work, if you're dying to go back to your old schedule. Just let me know. I'd love to hear how it went for you. Again, I'm Cassie with MakingTimeForGiggles.com. I make videos about making mom life simple, and I hope to see you on the next one.